Welcome to the VinnyRoc Podcast.
I took the blows and did it my way.
It's time. The VinnyRoc Podcast.
What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning into the VinnyRoc Podcast. I got to tell you about a few of our sponsors. You guys already know Core Medical Group. That's where I do my TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. We tested 50 veterans back in 2018, and out of those 50, 49 needed testosterone replacement therapy. It's very important for those who are military and law enforcement to go and get your blood work tested. So if you guys are interested, hit me up. You can message me on this platform, wherever you want. I'll get you directly connected with Core Medical Group. Hey, y'all, another one of our sponsors is GMR Gold. Go check out GMR Gold. It has precious metals and silvers and gold. I did a giveaway recently where I hid some somewhere into the heart of Texas. I'm actually shipping some down to Arizona here soon. It'll be hidden there. You guys go check out GMR Gold. They're an incredible company to work with. I collect silver and gold with the kids. It's fun. It's some way of saving money. It's monetary value. It has a sustenance to it, right? You hold it. You love it. You guys go check it out.
Well, here we are.
Here we are, dude.
Let's go.
Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Thank you. Thank you for having me out to the VinnyRoc Podcast.
You're one of the first guys that started calling me VinnyRoc.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I just had the VinnyRoc Podcast and labeled my stuff that, but you actually call me VinnyRoc.
That's kind of how I was like, what is his actual name? Is it Vincent? Is it Rocco? Is it Vinny? What is his actual name?
That's the funny thing when on set Kurt was like, what's his name? Vince or Rocco or Gilly? What is it? And
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, everyone was confused.
I just like VinnyRoc. It's just, it rolled off the tongue.
It works, man. Well, let's start off this way, dude. Let's do it.
Let's start
it's an
it off.
icebreaker.
Uh-oh, what's in the envelope?
I'm curious.
I don't even know. Let me see what we got here. Oh, hey, I know these guys.
And we don't have to show those if you don't want them going public at all.
It's all good. It's, yeah, I know these guys.
Who is that?
Where'd you get these? Off the internet? That damn internet, man.
I got a guy, dude.
I got to start erasing everything.
I got a guy named Big Trav who can find anything.
Yeah, no, that's my mom and I. She was living out her dreams.
Yeah.
Met my dad, and it was all very interesting. My father's black, my mother's Mexican.
Yeah.
That was all very.
At that time.
At that time in the 70s, that was a touchy subject. You
Yeah.
know, there was a lot of racism and a lot of nasty stuff going around.
How did they meet?
My parents met. My dad was washing windows at a hotel.
Yeah.
Down in Palm Springs, and my mom, her mom was cleaning rooms in the hotels, and then so she got my mom a job there. And
Yeah.
my mom was like 17.
Yeah.
And my mom would go in and clean the rooms, and she'd pull the curtains to let the sun in. And my dad was out there washing the windows. He's like, hey. Yeah, it's a really pretty little story. And,
cool.
you know, they couldn't like date for a while because my dad was a little older than my mom. And then when my mom turned 18, they dated, and they dated once, and they had my brother.
Boom.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
So that happened very fast. And then she had me right around her 21st birthday.
Oh, cool.
And then I have another younger brother she had when she was turning 30. But you know, they both, you know, we came from nothing, man.
Yeah.
They were just a couple of kids, and their parents broke their cycles.
Yeah.
And my parents broke their cycle, and I'm breaking mine, and my son hopefully is going to break his.
Your son definitely will break his.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know how much you'd really want to break. You're
Well,
a good cycle.
Hey,
You know?
I think we found a good space, but I want him to go further and
Yeah.
be better and
Yeah.
just be everything. Even, you know, I have my own little things that I wish I could have done.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm knocking him out most
Yeah.
of the deal, but he's amazing. He's in New York. He's a junior now. He's a photographer. He's doing. I'm so freaking proud of that kid, man.
Dude, we went golfing, and I was sitting in the car with you, and your son called.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And he's getting into the gym.
Yes.
And he's like talking about the price of chicken. Bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, it's so dope. So like for everyone listening, we've been friends and legit friends on the show.
Absolutely.
for 6 years. And so I've watched him go from junior high through high school into college, or just beginning into high school into college.
Yeah, all awkward and nervous. And
well, it's crazy to see him go, just turn into this man who's filled out, right?
Yeah.
And to watch your relationship as a father and a son, I've always heard you, going fishing or whatnot, and how that comes in, and then to hear the conversation, like it's almost like being a fly on the wall and getting to hear how you guys communicate.
I totally remember that. He said, "Papa, how much should chicken cost?" I was like, "Wow, this kid has never had to buy anything on his own a day in his life, and now he's in New York City asking me how much should chicken cost."
Right.
I'm like, "Well, it depends on where you go.
Yeah.
If you go to the ethnic markets, it's going to be a lot cheaper. If you're uptown, it's going to be a lot more expensive." But he figured it out. He's got an air fryer, and he's got his menus and stuff now, and it's fun.
I think what was so cool is the communication. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone has that kind of relationship with their kids. You know what I mean? And I don't know if like the generational thing. I don't know if I ever could have had a conversation with my dad. As simple as that was, we just never had that. You know what I mean? Now as adults,
for sure.
Yeah. But me in college, I don't think I ever called my dad to help like with anything. And so just hearing that and listening to it, I just thought it was fucking rad, man.
Yeah, totally, man.
It's a testament to you guys' relationship and how you raised them, dude.
Well, that's it. I went to, because I was raised with a heavy hand, I mean, I wasn't beat or anything, but, I got spanked. I mean, in today's terms, I was beat, right? You can't even speak, you can't even raise your voice now. But, I went to spank him once. He was maybe, I don't know, he was young. And I was just trying to teach him, because of where I lived in Hollywood right there. We lived right on kind of a main street, and we were just out there playing ball. He was maybe a year, 2 years old. We were just kind of throwing. And the ball went into the street, and he went to go into the street, and I grabbed him, and I said, "Hey, you can't do that." And I went to give him a swat. Yeah. My wife said, "Hey, we're not doing that." And I said, "We're not doing what?" She goes, "You are not spanking him." I said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" She said, "I want you to talk to him."
Yeah.
And that 20 years later, we talk.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Right? We talk. We talk about absolutely everything. Yeah. Failures, wins, victories, everything. We talk about everything. But I'm so fortunate that she said we're not going to do that. Yeah. Because I was just going to smack the shit out of him. You know what I mean?
Do what I know.
Like, hey, bro, I turned out all right. I mean, kind of, But, I was just going to give him, just a little love tap. And she said we're not doing that. And I swear to this day, I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah, I think that's a barrier that I think men and sons have to heal before they could even become friends, right? Or have that communication, right? I think because I did spank my son, and I stopped after the same kind of like just being educated about it all. I'm like, hey, I don't want to keep doing this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't want him to do this, but there's still the barrier of time that I had to, I guess he had to heal from that as well, because there's resentment there.
Totally.
For them.
And rarely does it get the reaction that you want.
Right? Exactly.
Like you want them to stop doing, and so you smack them, and you're just going to get more shelled up.
Yeah.
And get more, like,
it didn't help for me when I was young. It actually held resentment towards my dad until we got old enough to be like, okay, your dad beat the hell out of you. Yeah. And now I got it. Yeah. Let's not do this anymore.
No,
you know what I mean?
Totally.
This guy right here.
And the other picture right there, that guy is...
Who's that guy?
That guy, 1990.
How old were you?
I was graduating high school. I was 17.
High school.
Yeah, I was 17 years old. I think that's my senior photo. That guy's grown up. That guy's grown up a little bit. I mean, that's fresh face Irby right there, bro.
Zoom in on this real quick.
Even though I'm 17, I probably look like I'm about 14.
Bro, I
had a fake ID till I was 30 because nobody.
I showed this to Christy. I said, "Who do you think that is?" She goes, "I don't know." I said, "Irby." She goes, "No way. I don't see it." And yeah, dude. So you're graduating high school. This is your senior picture.
That's my senior picture. Yeah, 1990.
So, dude,
I was.
You were playing soccer?
I was playing soccer.
You were playing soccer.
Yeah, I was still playing soccer. And right after we graduated, I had never, ever even thought about acting or anything like that.
I was just wondering how that...
It was just soccer. My brother played. His family played. It was very big down in the desert. But it was still a little bit before American soccer became what it is that we all know.
Right.
Is. So I tried out for Teams USA, and I went to Europe for a little bit.
Were you good?
If I'm allowed to say it, I was
you say the truth, bro.
I was a killer, dog.
You were good?
Scored a lot of goals, bro.
Yeah,
I played up top. I'm a little guy, play like Messi, speed kills, bro. And I could hold the ball, and
that's cool.
I put the fear in people when they saw Irby coming down.
That's cool.
And I still play.
Yeah,
I just took the boots out last week, scored 2 goals. Hadn't played in a year, bro.
What?
And smoking cigarettes, whatever. Like, give me the ball. Bam. There's 1, there's 2. And no, man, I've got some real nice, that though, being a winner on the pitch taught me how to kind of take it to my life.
Dude,
right?
I think sports is so important for the competitive nature of it.
It's so key.
Life is competitive.
Life is competitive. If you think it's not, go crawl under a rock somewhere and die. Because if at the end of the day we all think it's not competitive, then what world are we living in now?
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like everyone's afraid of that alpha mentality or just the dog in you. You know, right now everybody's so sensitive to everybody's feelings and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, but I still want you to be sensitive to my feelings too, and I want to be an alpha dog. Yeah. And I think that if shit goes south, get behind me, and we will at least give ourselves a better chance to get to the other side of it, right? But yeah, so you know, when I came back, I got in a car accident. It was kind of our fault.
Really?
And yeah, totally. We were buddies, and I were driving back from Lake Havasu.
Lake Havasu, good time then?
Yeah, Lake Havasu used to be pretty crazy in the early 90s.
That was the spot.
That was the spot. That was a big spring break spot. And I was working at the Ritz-Carlton, the
hotel, right?
The 5-star hotels, very top end hotels. And there's one in Rancho Mirage. And I was like the flamingo kid, right? So I was working out the pool. Yeah. Had these cool little shorts, had a little thing. I'd fucking flap out towels, spray people down with water, get them drinks and whatnot. But I was making such good money doing that, and I'd only work for like 6 in the morning till like noon. Yeah. And I'd leave with like $400 in my pocket, and I was 18 years old, right? So that was good money. So we were partying down in Havasu, my buddies and I said, dude, I got to get back. I got to get back to the desert. I got to go to work. We leave about 4:30 in the morning, but we'd been up all night, right? It was, you know, we'd been partying.
Right, yeah.
And we rolled the car in the middle between, dude, we were in the middle of nowhere. It was about, we hadn't even been on the road that long.
Fell asleep?
Fell asleep at the wheel. My buddy fell asleep at the wheel. God. I was in the front seat. My knees hit the windshield, shattered both my kneecaps. And I was like, oh, man. Then nobody came. Because it was still dark, and we're literally in the middle of nowhere, and this guy's driving through with a tow truck and sees our car over in the ditch on the side of the thing and pulls over, and we're all sitting out there bloodied up and whatnot, and he calls the people, and paramedics come out and take us to the hospital. My parents come out, they see the car, everyone's saying, dude, you guys should be dead. Yeah. You guys should be dead. And I was like, wow. And that was my first and kind of my only real near death. Like, I've truly felt at that moment that God or whatever spirit, whatever you believe in, pushed me back into the car.
Really?
It is clear as day.
Yeah.
I heard the crunch and the metal and the glass, and I felt like this. And then cut 2, I'm out, back, crutches, trying to figure it all out again. And I got really angry and started partying. Yeah. And you know what you do.
Let me stop you there real quick. At the time, did you have faith? Did you have a faith? Did you have a belief in anything?
No, I was born into it. Yeah. I hadn't figured out what that meant for me yet, right? Yeah. I just hadn't figured out what that meant for me. You know,
you have some now.
Yeah, I have faith. Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah. I definitely have faith. I believe that there's something bigger
power.
than me. There's something absolutely bigger than me. Yeah. And there's something that I want to honor with this gift that I've been given to be Michael Irby, who I think is a bit of a kind of like a spiritual type of a warrior type thing. I believe I can talk to people, and I believe that the way I perceive life and the way I attack life is a gift, and I don't want to kind of shit on that. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah. So, you know, and so then I moved up to Orange County, and I was still kind of partying and, you know, being bad. Yeah. And I took an acting class, and this guy, John Perzaka, great dude, dead now, God rest. And he says, dude, you're an actor. I said, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, I guarantee you, I believe that you can probably make money doing this. And I was like, all right. And I moved to New York in 5 months. And I quit, broke up with a girlfriend, quit my job, and packed up and moved to New York when I was like, I just turned 20.
So your first version of acting is theater.
Yeah. Well, that and like, you know, Scarface and like all the great movies that we were watching as a kid. I mean, it was all film, you know, but then for me to get my, you know, to wet my whistle, it was all theater. because that's all you did when you go to acting school.
New York is like the spot.
New York is theater, bro. Like
Yeah.
you're not going there to go to film school. I mean, you can, but he told me, listen, if you can go to LA right now with a headshot. And I was like, oh, that's like jumping into the ocean. That sounds terrifying.
sounds
Like
scary.
I don't, and I was a soccer player.
Yeah.
Like I like to train. I like to,
Yeah.
I'm an athlete, right? I want to know how to do it. I want to know, I'll do
wanna
research
become a
on that team. I
professional.
want to become a professional. And he's like, go to New York. And I moved to New York and, I did 3 years of school out there at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And it wasn't the best school. Like it wasn't Juilliard. It wasn't Yale. It wasn't NYU. But again, like I just take what I need.
Yeah.
I just take what I need out of stuff. Like I can,
Yeah.
and and then
yeah, that's something that's interesting because I haven't had much formal training, but being on set with you guys for most of the part was a lot of my learning what to do, what not to do.
well, if you're a real professional actor, you
These fools, dude. Bro, these dudes gave me shit because they said I'm not a real professional actor until I kiss a dude.
yeah.
And this carried on for every season.
So he kissed everyone on the show.
I had to keep proving myself.
Dude, I'm a real actor. I'm a real boy.
I didn't know at the time that JD and Clay played, cross-dresser or whatever it was at the time. I guess or transitioning, whatever that was.
Yeah.
So it was even more funny to hear that, and they kept pressuring me in that shit. I'm like, you guys are fucking clowns. Man.
No. There was a lot of healthy bullying going on.
A lot
in
of
that
healthy
show.
bullying. It was fun, and there's some people who couldn't just handle it too.
Some people couldn't handle it. You know what I mean?
Some people had never played sports as kids. I think that's what it was.
Exactly.
Dude, so how many years did you serve in the Hollywood Army?
CBS Army. I have served 6 years. I've been on 37 tours. 4 years on the unit. 4 years on the unit. We did 87 episodes, and that was such an amazing gig.
Dude. For you, it was incredible, but for us as veterans, either deployed or just in the military looking for entertainment, it was super special for us.
Bro, that's what I was told. I mean, and as an actor, you're in a bubble. And I'd already worked for 10, 12, 15 years before that. But then I got the unit, and, this was post 9/11, and everything was still hot in Iraq, Afghanistan. Everything was still on fire. And, you take a show, and the funny thing with that show is I had 2 offers. I was going to do a show with Rod Lurie and Gina Davis, the female president at the time. So I had that offer on Tuesday, and then I got the unit offer on Wednesday. And I was like, like Rod's a good buddy of mine because we had already done a series together. And then I looked at the pedigree, and it was like it's Sean Ryan, David Mamet, it's Eric Haney. Like I read the book Inside Delta Force, and I was just like, and I was just this little like ass kicker, and I said, I called Rod. I said, hey, dude, I got to take the unit. And he's like, you bastard. And he ends up calling me, after their show got canceled in one season, he called me like a couple years later. He's like, bro, you made the right decision.
Yeah.
And like, I really think the sliding doors of it all, if soccer wasn't my thing, being raised poor and not having a lot of choices, the recruiters were at my door all the time. Bro. Yeah. Like they saw that I had that dog in me, and they saw that I had that type of what I believe is right and wrong. I'm very clear on what I believe is right and wrong. Yeah. Right. And I just, I could have had your life. Yeah. Right. But luckily, and you would
have been just as successful.
Brother, we would have crushed it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's where we are, and I was able to be on CBS Army, and then they brought back SEAL Team. And I jumped over there for a couple seasons. So that's,
man, you can almost retire.
Bro, I can almost retire, bro. I've got full pension, bro. But, man, those were some great experiences. We were blessed enough to go to Iraq and do some of the USO tours over there, and that was really special, I got to tell you, because, I wasn't really raised either way, liberal or conservative or whatever. It wasn't really talked about then. It was just, I was black and Mexican, and we were just here, and my parents voted this way, and I was like, okay, follow suit and whatnot, right? And I was just kind of following whatever my parents were doing. And so I really didn't know why I was going to Iraq. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. Right? I was like, hey, listen, I'm not a big supporter of this. I don't even know if we should be here, blah, 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 blah. Right? I was like, I don't really know what's going on.
What the average person who's just disconnected from it would say.
Yeah. Right? I was like, hey, listen, I'm an actor. I'm in Hollywood, whatever. Then I get there, and I was like, oh, wow. These boys and girls So young.
They don't even know why they're there.
They don't even know why they're there. And they've made this huge sacrifice.
Yeah.
There's some that will never be a father, never be a brother again, never be a sister, never be a mother, right? Like it's going to hit the fan. And I'm sitting there, and I was on Saddam's lake, at the lake there at the castle with that whole gold chair, and I'm smoking a cigarette with a young man. And I'm like, oh, this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here for him.
For them.
It's got nothing to do with me. And it goes back to the, they hate the player, not the game, or the game, the player, whatever. And I was like, this is why I'm here. And I ended up having some of the most esoteric, beautiful conversations with so many people. And it really brought some clarity on, for me, the whole military world and the machine.
It's the same for us, man. We're like, are we there for the right reasons or not? It's irrelevant when you're there. I joined the military. Like, everyone's reason for joining the military is different. There's a patriotism in me. There's definitely that, but it's not so much as I needed something to support my kids.
Yeah.
I needed something to pay for college. I needed it as much as it needed me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to use it as much as it wanted me.
For sure.
And in the end of the day, I left there respecting it so much more than when I first started. I left there thinking like, man, there is a good reason why we're here, but not even that. The brothers to the left and right of you, the companionship, the camaraderie. And the belief of like fighting for something great, you know what I mean? And again, as things started to unfold and it didn't feel that way later on, you almost felt like, man, was this all like in vain, right? Did people die in vain? And then it's like, no, but when I was there, I was doing it for them.
Yeah.
I was doing it from brothers to the left and right, you know? And so it's an interesting thing, man. And that's cool that you got to do that. For a guy like me who watched you on TV, who never thought acting was ever going to be a thing, right? I never even imagined it was me. I'm over there in Fort Benning watching this because I was doing a language course. Oh my God, dude! You're gonna meet someone today that was watching it with me.
Okay.
He's gonna blow his fucking mind.
Okay.
Dude, he's gonna blow his fucking mind.
Cool.
We watched it together, and I forgot he's one of the cadre for the wellness retreat. But when you walked into the bus, So in Mayans, so you guys were listening. We were Mayans. We're gonna go down to Mexico to record. And I'm sitting on the bus. I'm like 5 or 6 rows back by myself. Everyone kind of partnered up with people where they didn't. And
because I was new to the party.
Yeah, because you were new to the party. I knew everyone because I've been there. You're new to the party. And all of a sudden, as he's getting onto the bus, it's kind of like Forrest Gump. Like, can't sit here. I'm like watching you go skip him. I'm like, here he comes. And you go to sit down next to me. I was like, oh, fuck, he sat next to me. I was so like, internally like fucking fangirl that much.
That was so random too, man. Yeah, that was fucking awesome, dude. When you told me that.
And I sat there, I said, Betty Blue. And you were like, yeah.
Yeah.
No. And that was it, dude. It's like 2.5 hours of just fucking ripping back and forth about the show and military. And
yeah.
For me, it was a cool like fan moment in a sense. You know what I mean?
And for me as the actor, it was a good welcoming moment too, because I was kind of the new blood there. So it was nice to have somebody who knew me for of something I was super proud of.
Yeah.
Right? Because then I could kind of just start to breathe a little bit.
Yeah, because there's a mutual respect already, or else it's a pissing contest for other people.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah, I didn't even think about it at the time, but yeah, dude, it was super dope to be able to sit there and get to know you. And it almost made me feel more comfortable in the whole thing because I felt like, okay, we had real dialogue. Because I haven't had real dialogue with anyone on that show at this point.
Right.
I'm at the time, my fucking handle was like Big Poppy Official on Instagram.
Right. Like, I follow Big Poppy Official. I got a bunch of responses from Big Poppy.
So I had to change that one, and so like a lot of these guys are like, who is this fucking dude, right? Mm-hmm. I wasn't acting much. I had my own stuff I produced, so I didn't have real dialogue with almost anyone on that show until like you came around, and we had our first big conversation because me and Coco and Clay and JD, we were kind of getting close, and Coco, like Richard, was probably the closest dude I ended up really connecting with. But yeah, that was right there was like almost made me feel at home.
See, that's funny. You had two guys who were feeling like a little bit out of sync or out of sorts, and so they're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?"
Yeah,
I mean, which is the way life works, right? It's like, "Oh, I'm feeling a little odd. Oh, he's feeling a little odd. I'll go talk to this guy."
Out of all the characters you've played in acting, what for you is like you hold dear? Like, what is that one? We're like, this is always gonna be one. And I know there's probably a few because I can think of two in my head that I think are outside of Bishop. In my opinion, there's two that I think are like, knockouts.
I mean, some are, well, they all feed different beasts.
Yeah.
Right? Like some are good for me for my business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Some are good for me for my spirit and for what I'm trying to work out in my life, because it's at the end of the day, you're getting paid for therapy.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is,
Dude.
I mean, this is my job.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not always a happy camper. I'm pretty chill. Michael's pretty chill, but the characters that they want me to play are not.
Yeah.
Right? Bishop, I loved him. I ended up hating him though.
Yeah.
I thought they damaged him at the end, and I thought that they just ran him into the ground. And whether that was a creative or personal, or however that really came out, I thought that
It hurt you as a person?
Yeah, I thought they did Bishop a disservice. I thought they did me a disservice, to be honest with you. I hated the way the last season ended for Bishop.
Yeah.
But that's me, right? I'm an actor. Right,
Yeah, you're allowed to feel that,
dude. You can feel whatever you want, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're a grown man.
Yeah.
And you know, I didn't like the way that Bishop ended, but I still love Bishop, and I love what he was fighting for, and he was fighting for his brothers to the left and the right.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, when he saw that love was not going to be part of that equation, then he was just going to go and just destroy everything. I don't know if Michael would really operate like that.
Yeah.
Although I've had times where I just go and destroy things.
Yeah.
Barry was amazing because on Barry, even though we didn't have a lot in like a lot of similar things with the character, creatively for me to get out of that alpha dog kind of ass kicker, door kicker kind of mentality, to play Cristobal over here on Barry.
Who is just as much of a killer, but in a whole different...
He is a killer,
right.
But it'll be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. We're all going to die. So in that sense, though, and then that became a big industry darling. And for me, I kind of do believe my next job is probably going to come from more of that space and energy, like a comedy or something like that. And when I was in theater school, bro, I was super funny. Yeah. Right? Like I was getting all these comedies and everything. And then they made me pack it up and like just become like a little ass kicker, which I was fine doing.
You're good at both.
I could do both. Right. And then obviously Betty Blue put me on the map.
Betty
right.
Blue
Like that was.
Betty Blue was like in the middle of both characters, essentially.
Right? Yes. You're right.
He's not this dark version of a dude.
No.
He's kind of like the righteous, like he's the soldier.
No, dude. Betty Blue was a soldier, bro.
Yeah.
He was a womanizer. He had the ladies. He was the only single guy on the team. You know. No, man. Betty Blue got down, but he was also a warrior, and he would go in like he was first guy in.
It's kind of cool because he's like, you played all killers. Those are all killers. Those three characters.
Dude, they're all killers, but they all do it a different way.
Yeah, and all played by you.
Yes, and all that. It's all in here somewhere.
Yeah.
And I compartmentalize it because, you know, Bishop can't come out to play with everybody. I don't even want him out because I know what part of I know what part of Michael that you have triggered for me to get that response. Right. Otherwise, it's easy going. But if you burn me that way, it is done. And my wife knows it. Friends know it. You know, those that are very, very close to me know that. It can go dark, but it's a lot of energy and a lot of effort to not get there, right? That's why I work out. That's why I go to the gym. That's why
you golf.
Yeah, that's why I golf. That's why I keep people around me that love me and people that I love around me, and because I know left to my own devices, I can go dark. So I try to stay out of that space, you know. But it's work.
Do you have a process to get prepared for your roles, and does each role have its own process?
Yes, but that all goes back to the character. Right? Like my process is always the same. Right? I read my lines and then I read what people say about me.
Right.
And that's pretty much going to kind of dictate how I respond to people.
Understanding the character first and then...
Understand the character. I like to get into the character skin first. And for me, the best way to do that is to see what everyone around...
How they feel about you.
How they feel about me, right? Like, and you can read scripts like that. It's kind of backwards. But through theater and through stuff like that, that was my training, is to kind of, you know, I know what I want. I know who's in the way. I know what obstacles are in the way of getting what I want, right? Those are some of the actor questions, like the Uta Hagen, the 10 questions, right? Like, what do you want? What do you need? How are you going to get it? All that stuff. But then what was important for me through script analysis and stuff was to see what people said about that character. And then you can start to really sit into that. you know, if everyone say, oh, Bishop's a drunk and he's selfish and this and that, you say, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it all to you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Watch this. You know what I mean? Or, you know, the Cristobal thing with, you know, he was all into the 4 agreements. And, you know, that was like one, because I was supposed to die basically first season on Barry. And then I started to read it all. And, you know, the whole 4 agreements of, you know, making no assumptions. Don't take anything personal. Be 100% in that present moment when you're in that moment. And say what you mean to me, what you say. Yeah. And so I was like, this is going to be fantastic.
How did you create that?
The accent?
This whole thing, the you know what I mean? How did that come about to be what it is?
I got to be honest with you. There's an element of me that I don't even know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Sharon and Sherry, though, they casted the unit.
Right.
Right? So they called me in for Barry. They say, hey, we're having a hard time casting this part. I said, well, what is it? She says it's a show called Barry. It's not out yet, but it's like a Bolivian Sammy Hagar. And I went, Bolivian Sammy Hagar? I don't know what you mean. And so she goes, oh, cool. And so I, you know, Google, and I was like, okay, the Bolivian people, they're a little shorter. So I guess that's where I'm filling in there. And Sammy Hagar, he's like, you know, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I read the script, and the very first bit, we're having a phone conversation with me and NoHo, and I'm seeing it. He's blown up a few of my men, but I'm on to the 4 agreements, and I sent him this book, but he didn't read it, and I'm just like, you know. And it was just like I just had a zest for life, which Michael has. Yes. If that's probably the closest part of that. Yeah. Of Cristobal is that, like, I don't want to take anything personal. Yeah. I want to take you at face value. Like, I'm going to let you fuck up. I'm not going to assume that I know you or that I know your story. I know your plight. I know your issues. I don't really do that. Like, I don't really even, Michael, I don't really allow people to get into the humdrum and like, oh, this is so terrible. I'm like, fucking fix it, man. Like, fucking fix it, dude. Like, it's up to you. Like, it's within your power to fix it. Yeah. So like Cristobal just came off like a very affable Michael Irby, and then the accent, you know, being a person of my skin tone and whatnot, and I played a bunch of different characters, and I got a bit of a gift for dialects and stuff. Yeah. So this was just, it was a little, you know, it was a few different people. Yeah. And a little higher inflection and just a little bit of a smile. Everything was just so fantastic, and it's going to love it. It's just going to be wonderful. And then Bill was just laughing in the monitor, and he's like, where's the accent from? I'm like, I have no idea. He's like, perfect. Just keep it, dude. Just go harder. And with Bill, everything was just go harder. You know, like Bill was just so amazing. Like, just go, whatever thoughts and like whatever instincts are into it, just go. Yeah. And that ended up becoming a freaking huge industry. We're going to the Emmys in January. Super dope. They tried to push me for an Emmy on that, and you know, man, I'm proud of my work there. I'm Dude, super proud of my work there.
As someone who just like a fan of actors and the process and what you see, and I'm always like, how the fuck did they get there, right? You know what I mean? And then I'm watching you on Barry, and then I'm watching you on Mayans, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Two complete contrasts of characters, of acting styles, of emotions. Yeah. And it's impressive, man. Like, out of all the actors on Mayans, you know, there's a few that I'm always like, I like to learn from and like to watch, but I actually got to watch you do both. Yeah. And it blew me away, dude, because I'm laughing my ass off at this fucking character you have. and then I go to work and you have this other version of you, and I'm like, dude, that's fucking impressive, and it's super badass. And it's to me is like one of the most talented, if you want to call an actor a talented, has a lot of range, that's proof of range there, right? Like, let's talk about Gilly. Gilly didn't have a lot of range. Gilly was just another part of Vince Vargas, right? And so, like, I think if there's range from Vince to
but
Gilly,
there was an emotional range. Right, there was an emotional range. Surprised a lot of people because we thought, how's this big ass tatted fucking warrior? And then all of a sudden you see him and you're like, oh no, there's a beating heart in there, and there's a sensitive. This is all just a shell. It's all costumes, right? It's all costumes. Everything, all it's all costume. Yeah. Right, we're all just saying this is who I believe I am, and this is who I want to project myself. My costume is this, right? Like, but like, no, man, you had beautiful range over there, but not like I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
as far as that
you know
goes.
What I'm saying is like when I say this dude has a ton of range, like there's no doubt that you've proven the range from left to right.
Yeah.
And it's been dope to watch and inspiring for a dude like me who's in the game and trying to get to your level. So it's fucking dope, man. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
With Mayans, bro, let's just talk a little bit about Mayans. I want to ask, like, if there was another character that you would have wanted to play outside of Bishop, would there have been one?
You know, I can't really answer that. No, no, because there was certain things I didn't respect about other people.
Right.
Right, and about their choices that they made. The actors.
The actors.
The characters. The characters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, like the actors. I'm like, damn.
Well, hey, let's just throw it all on the table. Well, that's for a whole nother show. But no, no, I was. I think Bishop was in. I was born to play that part.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think anybody else could have done. Not from an arrogant space, but from what my lack of.
Yeah.
What I feel like I want in the world and what I want to protect and being a leader. I felt like I was born to play that part.
Well, dude, we had before you got on board when you were saying you were new, it was John Ortiz.
Amazing actor.
An incredible
a freaking amazing actor. Love John.
And me being where I'm at is like excited to be here, new at all this stuff, and I saw John, I was excited, like, yeah, John's Bishop for sure. This is dope. And then when John didn't come back and they recasted you, I was like, oh, but Mike's better. Like Michael Irby's a lot better.
Or just different. It's just different.
It had you have a different, I guess, just a presence about you that felt more like the character Bishop.
Yeah.
In my head, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's the version of Bishop that I actually really am drawn to.
Right.
And I think everyone is. And I think, like, as dope as John is as an actor, that role I feel was always meant for you too. You know what I mean?
It was bizarre, dude. When I read it, and because I was on another show, and that show called Taken, and we got picked up for the second season, and so I was on my hiatus, and I was like, all right, cool, and hitting the gym, getting ready for season 2, and then they called me. They're like, hey, so we're not going to renew your contract, and I said, what? And they said, well, don't feel bad. We're not renewing 5 of your guys' contracts. We're restructuring the show. And I was like, oh, wow. Ooh, okay. I've never been fired in my life. That's crazy. And my manager called me. I went down to Costa Rica, and I was with the family, and I was just having a whole crazy, weird, odd vacation. I'd just been fired, had no idea. I'm spending money that I thinking I should not be spending, this, that, and the other. She calls me, goes, hey, listen, I want to tell you about this audition, but it's a bit of a secret. She goes, I can't really tell you about it now, but I just want you to trust me. And I was like, okay. So I get back. I'm home for like a month. I get SEAL Team.
Yeah.
That came in the middle of the night.
Badass.
Somebody fell out. He couldn't do it. They called me at midnight to work at 6 a.m., 4 pages, the whole opening thing.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Bro, it was insane. So, like, I got that job at midnight, fell asleep for 3 or 4 hours, woke up, got off book, 4 pages, came in, knocked it out. They ended up turning that into 2 seasons.
Yeah.
From there, I got Barry, right?
Yeah.
And then I got Mayans.
Oh, shit, dude.
Mayans came at the end of that whole little thing of saying, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm never, ever going to give them the power over me again. Mm-hmm. And that is when I was doing it for me again, right? Because for so long, going to acting school and, you know, producers, directors, this, that, and the other, I was never really super chatty with producers and everybody anyway, because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, it's a job.
Yeah.
But that really was the game changer for me, was getting fired from that job and to kind of start acting again like I was when I went to New York.
Right.
When I was just free and super creative, very curious and very just like balls to the wall, you know?
Yeah.
But the Mayans thing, man, like getting that job and the way that I got that job and knowing some of the energy and some of the, I'm not going to say toxicity, but some of that vibration that I had already felt that was happening, I kind of thrived in it.
Yeah.
I wasn't afraid of it. It was like, I felt like I accepted the challenge. And I was like, okay, these guys all know each other. They're all a little chummy, but I'm supposed to be the prez. So they have to respect me whether they want to or not. And I know to earn that respect, I'm going to have to kind of do it a little heavier handed than I would normally do it. But Bishop, it was written that way. And I thought even first 2 seasons, Bishop had egg on his face a lot. Yeah. Right. He was always kind of catching up to Galindo and the cartels, and it was all that kind of story. Yeah. But I just embraced it. Like, it's okay. Like, if you want to think I'm a loser, that's okay. Yeah. You know, but I'm still manifesting this. Yeah. You know, and no, man, Bishop was awesome. You guys were amazing. The whole thing was amazing.
Dude, it was cool to see you have some emotional scenes.
Yeah.
That for me is I love watching guys do that. Yeah. But also, you know, watching you do that was powerful, and like the whole.
Oh, will you turn that on?
Oh, that's your phone?
Sorry, yeah,
don't worry about it, dude. When you're getting to an emotional scene, is there like how are you getting to that? Just curious for people that are listening. How do you do that? Is there the process for that? Is it something you're pulling, or is it something you're just manifesting?
I don't think there's a trick to it. Right?
Yeah,
because I do see some people.
Yeah,
there's a trick. Right. And there's a lot of substitution that you can do. Yeah. Right. Like there's in acting school, right? To substitute an emotion that you know is pretty much the same thing that Bishop is going through. Right. Yeah. So like something you've experienced. So if I've lost something, I lost my soccer career. Yeah. I'm losing the club. Right. Fuck you. Mm-hmm. You got me here. That scene with Emilio and I. Yeah. You know, my son was leaving to go to college during season 3. Yeah. And my wife comes back to me and says she's leaving me, and our son had already died on the show. So I took my son leaving, which was such a huge part of me and my family. Addison is literally the best job I've ever had. The one thing I've actually think I've kind of done right. Yeah. And I put so much energy into that. So then that emotions and that, like, I can't believe you're fucking taking all this from me. That stuff. It's a lot of me. I use substitutions basically. And then also it's on the page, man. If I don't like you, I don't like you. Right. Yeah. And if something comes up in me, cause I'm kind of one of those guys that, like, I had an older brother, like, and if I got really angry, I would cry. Yeah. Like I was just one of those guys. I couldn't, cause I didn't know what else was going to happen. Like some people just get angry and quiet. I got angry and I cried and I was like, motherfucker, I'm going to murder you, you know? Yeah. And like, that's kind of where that came up. So I don't really like that guy to come out all that much because I know what happens, and it's like, it's never good. It's not good for you or me. Right. Right. I'm not a big guy, but I'm going to murder you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we're going to go all the way to the end. So I really try to keep that guy at bay. But yeah, I guess, you know, with the acting and the emotionals, I'm a pretty emotional guy anyway. I'm pretty sensitive to other people, I guess. I mean, I can be a bully, but again, I was like a bully on that job. Yeah. If you've met anyone else from any other job and any other job in the future, you got a special slice of Michael Irby right there. Yeah. But I needed to do that. That was my shell. That was my armor. That was how I protected my character and Bishop and Michael working with all these other dogs. Yeah. Right. So you got a little piece that no one has ever, they've never seen that guy on Barry. I go on Barry. I'm like, hey guys, how you doing? You know, or like they didn't see it in SEAL.
You walk around set.
No, I'm just walking around set, just like, you know, but like, I felt like that is what that character needed. Yeah. Right. Like that character needed that. And you guys needed me to do that. Also, I think it also, when they put the camera on you, it made you go, fuck, Bishop is pissed, dude.
No, absolutely.
Right? Like that, like I was only serving the story. Like I was only serving the story. It wasn't never really about me, like, but I was serving the story. I knew that I had to come in and earn that respect and command that respect. And so that's kind of, you know.
When this show ended, there was like a lot of emotion. Like one of those last scenes was pretty emotional. Mm-hmm. At any point, was it emotional for you?
Yeah, it was emotional for me. I had spent so much time trying to get you guys to believe in me, right? Not only as the actor, but the character. Yeah. And I'd spent so much energy into that. And then to just there's so many different sides. You can compartmentalize it, but it was a job, right? It was a job. It was great money. It was a great character. The fans fucking loved it. We definitely could have ran 6, 7, 8 more. You know, we could have kept going. So it was just like, and there was all that, like, your body knows that your brain knows it's fake. Yeah. Your body doesn't know. Yeah. It's adrenaline and dopamine and serotonin. Your body is like, all this stuff is happening, but your body doesn't know that it's all fake when you're acting, right? Your brain,
exactly.
Your brain knows that it's not real, and these are all it's you know, but your body doesn't know that. So it became like, wow, I'm killing my brothers right now. Like this is my brother, right?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
And that was hard. I remember I went out to the trailer and I was just like, wow. And there was such a finality to it all,
dude.
And
there was moments,
you know, and I just went in there and I looked in the mirror and I broke down a little bit, and you know, I poured myself a whiskey because that's what Bishop does. Yeah. And I said, all right, that's done. I haven't. Again, like, it was such a beautiful experience, but it was a hard role. Yeah. Right. Because I had to get into spots of me that I don't really like to deal with, or that I thought I've already dealt with. Right. But I took all my Mayan stuff. It's all in the back of the closet. I haven't looked at it. I don't need it. It's not a trophy. It's a part of me that has lived and died. And I'm really just kind of on to the next. And, yeah, the Mayans, the whole thing was, it was also, it was all so wild from beginning to end. I mean, I don't know that. Yeah. But you know, hey man, I don't apologize for shit. No. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if I need to, I will. If I need to, I will. But I'm not going to apologize for the way that I feel. You know what I mean?
All those were valid, man. It was a hard time for all of us. It was a very confusing, conflicting, all kinds of stuff. But
yeah, I mean, you had to hold him. I mean, you were holding the whole time, and just looking in your eyes,
bro.
I mean, when I looked in your eyes, that was I mean, everybody had an inner monologue right there.
It was. People would ask me, "Were those tears real?" They absolutely were real. Absolutely were real. Yeah. Because it was. I felt him. I could feel him.
Dude,
how hurt he was. Yeah. And I'm a lover, dog. You know what I mean? I'm holding this dude, and he's broken, and it broke me to hold a broken dude and not let him go. Like, it was like there was like the real part of that, actually holding him while he's breaking down. Yeah, bro, I was hurt. It was hurt. It was hard.
Yeah, it was beautiful,
dude. It was
like I couldn't really see anybody.
Yeah.
Because I was just filled with rage,
yeah.
So I couldn't see anybody. So I watched it as like a fan when it came out on TV.
Yeah.
And you know, when we watched it, or I think we went down to go watch it somewhere or whatever. But like, so I was just watching everybody else for the first time. You know, I could look at Frankie and you know, I could look at all the boys there, but it was really cool because I could like see what everybody else was going through. Because I was just a bull.
Yeah,
I couldn't see anything. I was blind with rage, bro. I couldn't see anything. I was totally a fan on that last on the last episode, that last scene.
That last portion was the coolest, hardest moment.
Yeah, that was epic. That was epic.
What's next? What happened? 5 minutes. Cool.
What's next? What's next, baby?
What's next for you?
Everything.
Whatever's there.
Yeah, whatever's there. You know, we're in a little strike right now. I just finished this cool little movie called Osiris. Will Kaufman directed it, and I got to kind of run and gun with Max Martini again, a good buddy of mine from the unit.
The boys are back.
The boys are back in town, baby. But yeah, we're all gathered up, and it's good, man.
Good.
We're fighting aliens and stuff, and it's great, man. And honestly, man, whatever's next, dude, I feel like after being in the business for 25 years, SAG member. You know, 2 strikes now, this, that, and the other, multiple television shows and films. I feel like I kind of hit my, I'm right in stride right now. I feel like this is the best I've ever been. And I'm really curious and excited about what's next, you know.
It's been dope. It's been dope just to work with you for the past 5 years, and
feelings mutual, dog.
I'm excited to hopefully run it back again sometime.
Hey, I know you got some ideas. I got some ideas. We put our heads together and we go make some magic. Let's go.
Right, well, this weekend's gonna be fun. We're going to a retreat, a men's wellness retreat, and we're gonna work on some healing with a bunch of veterans and law enforcement officers, and so it's gonna be dope. So I'm excited to partake in that.
I'm looking forward, man. Thanks for having me out.
Cool. Absolutely, bro. Thanks for being on the podcast.
100%, John.
Modern Gun School. You guys go check them out. All right, several of my buddies have signed up for it and got their certifications in armor, all through Modern Gun School. One of my buddies owns a place down in Eagle Pass, Texas now because of it. You guys go check out Modern Gun School. It's an incredible company. It's an online armor school that you can use your VA benefits to purchase. Why not? You're not using them. You might as well use it at Modern Gun School. Hey, you guys like camping? Do you like the outdoors? Do you like taking your family out and doing things that are in the wilderness? Well, if you guys ever used Everest.com, you guys can find anything you need for you guys that are outdoorsmen, camping, whatever it is. Go check it out. It's a place where everyone can come together and buy whatever they need to go outdoors.